So I'm seeing a lot of people complaining about how the PZH2000 is not modeled correctly in the game. They're not wrong, but it doesn't mean the tank is bad whatsoever. In fact, it's actually a really enjoyable 7.7. The main round you're going to be using is the OE-F3HE round, and as a secondary round I suggest taking the M107 proxy. Now for the modeling issues, it should have thermals, a better reload, and a stabilizer. And I understand why you guys want that. It would make this thing even better than it is, but you have to think about it from a game standpoint. It's got to be balanced in some way or another. So gaijin slotted it in at 7.7 while it's missing some of the electronics. And let me tell you, this thing performs just as good as it usually would in a higher BR bracket with everything it has in real life. To play this correctly as a 7.7, you could kind of play it like an aggressive sniper. You're first going to control the long angles with your 155mm cannon and laser rangefinder. In the long angles, you'll be mainly dominant, especially when you're on tier or below tier, because a lot of vehicles do not have access to a laser rangefinder from 6.7 to 7.7. Then if you want to move places, or if your friendlies start pushing up, you do have the speed and maneuverability to get there. So basically, you're going to keep pushing forward and taking control of enemy lanes. I was also able to do really well on this tank just by pushing up with the friendlies and acting as like a second line bonk cannon. Now that 10-second reload isn't that good, and you shouldn't go just AWOL right into the enemies, but it is good enough where you can shoot and scoot a lot of them. Now this video isn't just going to glaze the PZH2000, there are some downfalls you have to be aware of before you go and get it. By far the worst part about this vehicle is the fact that you basically have no depression like every other self-propelled howitzer, meaning hills were your worst enemy when you were sniping. You also have to keep in mind that you're extremely large, meaning enemies can spot you very easily from long distances. And I don't know how they managed to do it, but your crew compartment is very compact. It's basically any round that goes into you will do a butt ton of damage. And the last two inconveniences that I've had playing this thing is the fact that your proxy round is so slow, and the fact you have no stabilizer, so if you do want to push, it's going to be quite hard. Overall, I truly enjoy the PZH2000, and I think it's a great addition to 7.7 even though it's lacking a bunch of things.